You're taking a live look over the city of Fountains right now. Heavy cloud cover looms over the region after the passage of severe storm activity throughout the metro, really tracking to our eastern counties. This is the leftovers, kind of the scud that's left of this cold front that passed on through the region late last night and early morning. Had a lot of tornado warnings out there. We've been dealing with some foggy conditions as well, trying to burn off that fog as we move on into the late morning, friends. Just be prepared that we have another threat for severe storm activity just in the sidelines right now. In the next 24 hours, we're going to get back into some significant storms, specifically to our south and eastern counties. So be prepared. Good morning to you all, friends. We have got a lot to talk about here. Kind of a quick recap of obviously the severe storm activity that we saw late last night, and then getting into the future, right? Getting you ready for the next round of storm activity. But man, oh man, we saw a very interesting way this frontal boundary decided to form and then really explode throughout the Missouri River Valley with intensity and storm activity. Severe thunderstorm warnings, obviously tornado watches and warnings that literally strung along the line, the front of that line from almost Mercer-Grundy counties all the way down towards Benton and Pettis. Technically, we did have tornado warnings a little bit further more to the west of what I just kind of sort of mentioned to you, but it just gives you an idea that we literally had tornado warnings and we were watching notches, in our velocity, that we were literally watching this rotation on our radar system in all of these different locations as we went through midnight to about 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to give really huge kudos, major kudos and props to our chief meteorologist, Luke Doris, and our first warned meteorologist, Melissa Meter. Those two came in early yesterday. Melissa came in as early as about noon, and she was with it along with Luke Doris all the way to 2 o'clock in the morning. That is a 14-hour shift of nonstop monitoring, bringing in and providing data to you guys that you can understand and provide, kind of precautions for you to take in order to stay as safe as possible in the severe weather threat. Luke Doris, with all of his skill and expertise as a meteorologist, both with experience from Nebraska and from the tropical climates further south where we get into hurricanes and, tropical depressions and storms where you do get tornado development down there as well. He brought those skills to you live on air to make sure that you had everything you needed to know and to stay safe. And I think we did a very good service. I think they did a phenomenal service to the Kansas City area and really just the Missouri River Valley as a whole. So I've got to give them props, and I am proud to be a part of this weather team. So with that being said, we need to talk about the next thing, the next round of storm activity on deck. Nowhere near as aggressive as where we were in regards to late last night and early this morning. All right, I'm going to pop this up for you. Let's go ahead and pop this through and show you. There it is, our new severe weather risk for Wednesday's forecast. You can see right there that we've got an enhanced risk of severe storm activity overall. This is where we're going to be seeing it more concentrated for potential tornado development, and we're looking at larger size hail development. It's going to be that orange zone. So we've got that in Benton, Pettis counties. It's pretty close to basically the Sedalia area, Colcamp, kind of Warsaw kind of regions. Not a whole lot of dense population out in that kind of neck of the woods, but nonetheless, I still want to make sure that anybody that's out there stays safe and stays well informed. Then we've got the slight risk, the yellow zone there. That's a severe weather risk level 2, and then a marginal risk for severe storm activity level 1 that does encompass areas of Jackson County, moving over towards Cass County. We've got it off around the Clay County area. So that is still in our dense populated region, right? We're talking about the metro here, so we need to take the proper precautions. The timing of this right now is looking around the mid-morning. Let me see if I can actually pop this up for you and give you better context to all of this. Let me get into Max 1 right now. That's going to pop up for us. It's attempting the server so I can get a bird's eye view to show you what we're looking at here. And it's having a difficult time trying to actually navigate that for me. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. It's now popped up, and we're going to now get into the forecast model run here. Again, you got to take this with a grain of salt. This is not the end-all, be-all that we're going to show you. It's always a kind of a rough idea of where we can anticipate that rainfall to populate and maybe the intensity, which we will discuss further about what happened last night, because we literally had the opposite happen from what the data was indicating. All right, and I'll explain what I mean by that. We'll talk about that in just a quick second. So let's move this forward. Let's move it on into Wednesday's forecast. First things first, we do have some wet weather that rolls through just prior to the warm front and upper level low pressure system. There's kind of some leftover energy that's coming off the Rockies right now, and it slides across the state of Kansas, providing us a few isolated showers, maybe 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning. There is an opportunity in this, maybe around Buchanan County and then moving up to Holt County, that we could get to some thunderstorms, kind of wear and tear thunderstorm activity, especially off the heat of the day that we're anticipating for this afternoon. We're expecting about 77 degrees, which is plenty of heat for us to continue this into the overnight and expel that heat from the surface. We call that radiational cooling. So it provides a warm air lift, which could give us some thunderstorm activity around this early morning time frame. But it's more towards 8 a.m. that we start to see some ignition of some stronger storm cells out towards the south. You can see that off around maybe Franklin and Lynn County, Anderson County, Miami counties. You can see that around Racine, the yellow zone there. That's indicative of some strong storms, maybe a severe weather threat. But it's really about here, 8 a.m. that we're monitoring Harrisonville, Butler around Henry County, Bates County. We're really Henry County. You're going to be on deck, but Bates County around Butler, I-49. This is where we're going to start to see ignition. This is the slight risk zone that we're monitoring for some of the stronger storm cells. And then we move forward to the late morning. There it goes into Henry County. You can see that pulsate to oranges and reds. So that's indicative of getting to maybe some severe weather. And then once more, right up into Benton and Pettis counties. There we go. I'm trying to go slow with the dial here so you can see how intense it gets, and stop about right there, 11 a.m. Dark reds there, really indicative of getting into severe weather. So this is where we could see maybe some stronger supercells that pop up. We could get in to maybe a notch situation where our velocity track shows us maybe some rotation to the radar. So it will be something that we track closely. But like I said, this is something that is not the end-all, be-all, right? This is not the end-all, be-all when we show you this kind of forecast, because I remember us discussing this in regards to yesterday's outlook. We talked about where we were going to see more of the severe weather threat, the main line of storm activity enter in from the west. We're going to provide definite chances for some tornado development out there. And as we went through to the eastern side of the viewing area, we saw the opportunity for a bit of this front to kind of break down a tad and then show more of an isolated severe thunderstorm event along the line itself. Like we would see a line of thunderstorms, but isolated severe storm activity that may produce tornadoes. That's what our data was showing us. And the exact opposite happened. We started off with kind of a broken frontal boundary system. Thunderstorms were rolling on in. There was a little bit of severe weather activity, but it wasn't just showing us much of a kind of a significant threat that everything was kind of pulling to. And all of a sudden, we got to the other side of the metro, the Missouri side, and everything exploded. Why did that explode? A lot of that has to do with a lower level jet that kind of helped lift everything up and recharge the atmosphere, kind of getting all that energy, that radiational cooling up to where it needs to be, to the mid-levels, to do that significant mixing situation to provide the fuel source for these thunderstorms to grow. So we got that around that time frame in the early morning, around about 11:30 midnight, and it just ran right through to almost 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was nothing but tornado warning after tornado warning after tornado warning. So that's why we say it is not the end all be all when we show you that forecast modeling. It's a rough idea of what you can anticipate as we move forward to the near future. It gives you an idea of how to kind of sort of plan yourself. So when we get to an event where we're looking at a high severe weather risk overall, no matter where you are in that severe weather risk, we want you to prepare as if you're going to see that tornado threat or as if you're going to see that high chance for hail development, all right? Because sometimes we can see an alternate to what the data is indicating to us. Now, it wasn't too far off in timing at all. And in fact, between the hours of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., the metro got hit by that cold front. That brought in significant thunderstorm activity. We saw a lot of power lines go down. Over 14,000 people lost power just in Evergy alone, around 1,000 for BPU. So there was some significant damage there. But what happened was the intensity of that storm activity, where we thought was going to happen in the beginning, decided that it wanted to happen towards the end of our forecast for our viewing area. All right. So yeah, we could just have those minor tweaks. And that is technically a mathematical minor tweak when it comes down to meteorology. And where we see that moisture lie and where the heat rises in our atmosphere. Literal, just a minor tweak, mathematically speaking, and you can see a significant change in where we see that severe weather development. So we still saw some significant thunderstorm activity to the west, our western counties moving right on into the metro, but it really amped up towards the east. Listen, if you're interested in this, if you really want to talk about the nitty-gritty, I love talking about it here on OTT and our social media pages, our live stream, right? We're on Roku right now. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook Live. It's great. But 6:30 tonight, you have got to check out this show. It is the First Warn 5 weather show, and we are taking today to break down a play-by-play of the severe weather event that ensued late last night into early this morning. The questions about how and why these thunderstorms formed, the nitty-gritty of it all, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get to the play-by-play. Luke Doris, Melissa Meter, we've got Warren Sears, and myself all have that detailed information for you. It is going to be a fascinating kind of weather show that you want to check out. 6:30 tonight. Don't miss it. It is the only weather show in the entire viewing region that we have. And when it comes down to it, there are very few of these weather shows in the entire country. And on a local scale, we are taking Kansas City to the next level and providing you very viable information for your day-to-day life weather-wise, right? It's one of the most important things in your life, is kind of driving what you do on a daily basis is the weather. And we decided that it was such a heavy hitter for you and us here around the Missouri River Valley, this community, that it was worthwhile literally providing you an entire show about weather and how it's going to interact with us on a daily basis or a monthly basis or a climatological basis. So you're ready for it. You're getting all that information. It's fun. And we break it down in a way that's understandable. So it's great stuff. 6:30 tonight. Check us out. Luke Doris, Melissa Meter, Warren Sears, myself, we're going to be there for you to provide you some really cool information and some fascinating information on how these storms really played out. Great stuff out there. Now, with that being said, let's move forward. And I want to get back to the thunderstorm threat that we've got. This is a severe thunderstorm threat that we're talking about. I've got Wednesday, 11 o'clock in the morning for you up on deck. And you can see Benton and Pettis counties getting into those dark reds and oranges. It's indicative of some powerful thunderstorms. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit because it does go in towards our slight risk zone. And that's going to be around Henry and Bates counties, moving up towards Cass County as well. We've got Warrensburg embedded in this too, that you can get into some stronger storm spells. But I'm not ruling out the metro here, especially to the east and northeastern sides. We could see some thunder boomers out there that may provide a brief severe thunderstorm threat. Again, this is not the end all be all when it comes down to forecasting wet weather. Don't take this and say, oh, okay, at 8 o'clock in the morning, Paola is going to see storm activity. It doesn't work that way because the atmosphere is constantly changing. Literally in the blink of an eye, we have new information, new data. And we have to ingest that data and get a new forecast model. But as soon as we do that, there's new data. So it's a constant kind of flux in our atmosphere that we're continuing to chase as meteorologists to provide a reasonable model that gives you an idea of what to expect on a daily basis. So that's what it's all about. But let's get back into the nitty-gritty here, the severe weather opportunity. And there it is for our Wednesday forecast. It's more of a morning event overall, starting up by early mid-morning, maybe about 6, 7 a.m., and could continue till about 11 o'clock in the morning. And we're really concentrating the severe weather risk, at least the heightened risk, more towards our south and eastern counties. So if you live there, maybe Lafayette County, moving over to, let's call it Benton or Pettis counties, Cass County out there, Bates County, these areas are going to be more prone to getting into a severe weather opportunity. It still doesn't rule us out here to the metro, especially Clay County, Jackson County there, maybe even portions of Johnson County, getting into that marginal risk for severe weather. So I want you to be prepared for that. Now, there's good news. Okay, I've got good news for you. Let me bring up the bus stop forecast. This is where I'm excited because we are getting a lull today. We can take a breather from the storm activity this afternoon. Now, there are still opportunities, little bits of chances for drizzle or shower activity. It's not going to be a washout. And honestly, if you do catch yourself in the wet weather, you can hold off on the umbrella if you really wanted to. It's not going to be that detrimental. But, if you want to stay completely dry, then obviously, grab an umbrella, keep it in the car, keep it in the office, pack away one of those pocket umbrellas that kind of collapse and put it in one of your kids' backpacks, right? Granted, it's already 8:19 in the morning, so hopefully you already did that because they're probably at school right now, which, by the way, I will be heading out to a school momentarily to Greyhawk Elementary. I'm going to be heading out there to hang out with the 5th grade class and talk about weather. We do school visits all the time, and if you want us to ever drop some serious knowledge on your kiddo at their school, send us an email. We would love to, especially if it comes from the schools themselves, the teachers, the principals. We want to get those emails and we can set something up and provide some really fun ways to learn about weather and science, get excited about meteorology, and get excited about what it takes to become a meteorologist. And that comes with a lot of math and science, really important stuff when it comes down to just living life anyways, right? Have those in the back of your head, math and science. So sunny skies today. High pressure? No. We don't have high pressure. We actually have dry air. It's a pocket of dry air that I'm monitoring. Let me see if I can find that in our water vapor imagery map. And I think I need to go to my main weather hit. I'm going through about 500 graphics that I've created here. Granted, I've created them over time. I actually update about 50 to 100 of these graphics on a daily basis. And then the other ones just stay in the wings waiting to be used for certain time periods of the year. But let's get into the water vapor. It's taking a hot second to upload, but we are getting it uploaded. There it is. And you see that kind of brown or orangish coloration to the map there? That's the dry air to the mid-levels. And that's helping us to hold off on getting into another round of big wet weather opportunities here, but just off to the west. Kind of all of this white that's here off around the corner, the northwest corner of, we'll call it Colorado and Kansas, right there around Nebraska, basically the tri-state area. That's some ample moisture content that's kind of sliding in, and that may be where we get that concentration of a drizzle threat as we move forward to the end of the day here, partly cloudy to then mostly cloudy skies. But our big storm system is still closer to around Durango and is going to continue to slide into portions of the panhandles of both Texas and Oklahoma. And around this time frame, we're actually going to get a warm front. You can actually see the front forming now. You see that bright white line that kind of forms, it kind of squeezes there around Oklahoma City. That's part of that warm front, and it's going to lift to the north as we move forward into the next 24 hours, which will aid in providing a severe thunderstorm threat. That's our wet weather opportunity moving on into Wednesday morning, just to give you a little bit of a scoop on that. Again, one more thing that we're going to dive into on our new weather show, First Warn 5 weather show at 6:30 tonight. This is premiere week for it. It is well worthwhile to check it out. Totally digestible, really fascinating stuff that we get involved with. Gives us the time to get to the nitty-gritty and the science that backs up our meteorology. So it's a cool show. Definitely want to check it out. All right, friends, that's all I have for you right now. To be quite honest, I got to get going here because it is 8:22. Baser's about 45 minutes away for the school for me, so it's going to take me a hot second. I got to get over there by about 9:15 in the morning. So I hope that you guys have a great day, and hopefully we provided you ample information on what the deal is with the severe weather threat on tap for us. I know we've got a lot of people out there that have chimed in here, and unfortunately I just don't have the time right now to actually get into it, but I appreciate all the comments here. Just looking at it quickly, there's Candy, there's Debbie, there's Krista out there, there's Saw out there. I appreciate you guys chiming in and saying a little something to us. I usually do have a quick opportunity to kind of answer questions or talk about some comments here, but I just don't have the time today. But listen, we're going to do more of these updates on our social media, on live stream for you during the afternoon. soon. We're going to get more updates on the severe weather threat. You can always check us out on air as well. We're going to have a noon newscast. We also have more information that will be provided to you on My KC Live. That'll be happening within the next half hour. And obviously, again, checking out that new weather show. It is an awesome kind of, I don't want to call it a newscast. It's a weathercast. It's one big weathercast. And it brings all of our minds, our skills and expertise as meteorologists to one area. And we take the time to actually dig in to the meteorology. So cool stuff. I'm going to leave you with a live shot of the city. It is fabulous out there. There it is. We're trying to burn off that foggy kind of condition right now. We're getting into some blue skies. There's some sunshine there over the World War I Museum. You can see that finally getting into a little bit of sunlight. Remember, high today, 77 degrees. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sticky because the moisture content's still going to be lingering around as we continue with another threat for storms into our Wednesday morning. You know who to stick with, KCTV 5 and the First 1-5 weather team.